how important a healthy offensive line is, Jeff. You've touched on it to start the show. I do agree. You saw San Francisco get punished for it, and you saw Cincinnati get punished for it. And if there's one thing you can't afford to happen ever, 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 is your investment, your franchise quarterback go down. And you know what? If the Lions have one thing going their way, it is that offensive line, Jeff.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's what I texted you last night, because that was the biggest difference for me in both championship games. It's the reason why Drew Brees, and love him to death, but he put out that video on Instagram last night. I think it was at halftime. It was right after Purdy went down, where he said, I still believe the 49ers can win this game. And the reason he made that case was for both that defensive line and that offensive line for the 49ers. He was wrong. But still, you look at the Eagles. That was the difference in the game. What they did to that 49ers pass rush is unbelievable. Now, they ran the ball a ton in the second half, especially after Purdy went down, but still dominated the game, neutralized Nick Bosa, and then you go on to the other championship game. That was the difference. Joe Burrow and his lack thereof of healthy offensive linemen being pressured every play. They couldn't run the ball. The Chiefs really couldn't either. They still had timely opportunity, and they made those opportunistic plays. But still was the biggest difference to me, dominating in the trenches. The Eagles have built this roster on that. With all the depth they have at both sides, I mean, Landon Dickerson, starting left guard, went down. In comes Andre Dillard, I believe, left tackle who they took in the first round. They have depth on both sides. And we look at this Lions offensive line, and the only two offensive lines I put in the conversation about a week ago were the Eagles and the 49ers. That's it. And the fact that you have one of the better offensive lines, you can dictate the game itself. Do you want to dominate, running the football? They can do that. Do you want to put the ball in the air? Well, they can pass protect. That's the benefit. That's how beneficial it is having an offensive line like the Detroit Lions currently have. Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker, Jonah, Frank Ragnow, and maybe they take a guard this year or sign a guard. Who knows? But that's the biggest asset the Lions have. Having an offensive line like that was the difference, and seeing both of these teams in the NFC and AFC title game. In the AFC, it's quarterback play. We get that, the best two quarterbacks, but in the NFC alone, where the Lions are in, you look at their offensive lines and defensive lines. That's what the Lions are building, and the fact that Brad Holmes is constructing this roster like that gives me even more confidence moving forward. If these guys can develop, you're going to have one of the better offensive lines in the league, and on track right now to have one of the better defensive lines in the league with the young talent they have. They're going to be dangerous.